Your paycheck hits on Friday. For about 12 minutes, you feel rich. Then rent takes its share, the car payment shows up, groceries take another bite. By Monday, most of the money is gone, and you are already waiting for the next paycheck to pay for a life you are still living right now. That is what living paycheck to paycheck feels like. It is not just having a low balance, it is knowing that one delayed deposit, one flat tire, or one surprise copay could knock over the entire month like a row of very expensive dominoes. The confusing part is that you may not be doing anything reckless. You are working, paying bills, and trying to be responsible. But the math never leaves room to breathe. So how do you stop? Not by magically saving an entire paycheck, not by cutting every enjoyable thing out of your life, and not by hearing, "Just pay yourself first," from someone whose grocery budget is bigger than your rent. You stop living paycheck to paycheck by creating a little space between the money coming in and the bills chasing it. At first, that space may only be $20, then $50, then $100. Eventually, it becomes one bill, 1 week, and finally, one paycheck. I'm Evan, and this is Evan Gets It. Money questions for adults who feel like they missed the class. Today we are answering, how do I stop living paycheck to paycheck? First, stop treating every paycheck to paycheck situation as the same problem. There are usually three versions: a timing problem, a spending problem, or an income problem. They can all produce the same sad bank balance, but they do not have the same solution. A timing problem means you earn enough during the month, but the bills and paychecks arrive in the wrong order. Rent lands on the 1st, insurance on the 5th, the car payment on the 8th, and your next check does not arrive until the 10th. Your calendar is attacking you. A spending problem means the essentials fit, but subscriptions, fees, financing, and ordinary purchases quietly eat the margin that could have helped you escape. An income problem means your take-home pay is lower than what basic life costs. A better spreadsheet cannot fully fix that. The long-term answer has to include more income, lower major expenses, assistance, or some combination. If you already know it's the third one, stay with me. I get to that one directly near the end, and the steps in between still matter because they stop things from getting worse while you work on the bigger fix. To figure out which problem you have, do not begin with categories. Begin with a timeline. Pull the last 30 days of bank and credit card activity. Write down every payday, every bill, and every purchase in the order it happened. You are not trying to judge every transaction. You are looking for the exact point where the month breaks. Maybe 3 large bills land together in the second week. Maybe weekend spending stacks up. Maybe the account never had enough for the essentials in the first place. Vague anxiety says, "I'm terrible with money." A timeline says, "The problem begins on the 8th, after the car payment." One creates shame. The other gives you something to work on. Once you can see the problem, your first goal is not a 6-month emergency fund. Your first goal is $100. $100 will not solve a major emergency. Its job is to stop a higher electric bill, prescription, or extra gas from triggering an overdraft, late fee, or new credit card charge. Build it any realistic way you can. Move $10 on payday. Sell something you no longer use. Keep part of a refund. Use overtime after it actually arrives. Lower one bill and move the difference immediately. If you cut your phone bill by $30, move that $30 immediately. Otherwise, you reduced an expense but never created savings. After the first $100, get one bill ahead. Choose one small, predictable bill. If your phone bill is $60, save an extra $60 and leave it in the bills account. Now next month's phone bill is covered before the month starts. That may not feel dramatic. Nobody is releasing balloons from the ceiling. But one future paycheck now has one less job. Then aim for 1 week of essential expenses. With 1 week saved, a late paycheck is annoying, but no longer automatically a crisis. This is the path out. $100, one bill ahead, 1 week ahead, and eventually one paycheck ahead. Now return to timing. Ask whether lenders, utilities, insurers, or service providers can move due dates. The goal is to stop one paycheck from carrying nearly the entire month. Before each check arrives, list every bill due before the next payday. Set that money aside first. Then assign groceries, gas, medicine, and other essentials. Do not open your banking app, see $800, and assume you have $800 available. You may actually have $80 and $720 wearing tiny costumes labeled rent, electricity, and insurance. A free separate bills account can help. Move bill money there on payday. Whatever remains is what you can safely spend. Next, audit the invisible leakage, but do not turn it into a punishment exercise. The goal is not to cancel every source of joy and live in a dark room eating plain rice while a finance influencer applauds. Ask whether each recurring charge improved your life enough to justify its cost last month. If not, pause or cancel it and move that money to the buffer. Look beyond subscriptions. Overdrafts, late fees, cash advance apps, high-interest balances, and overpriced plans can leave the next paycheck damaged before it arrives. Set low balance alerts. Turn off automatic payments that repeatedly hit before payday. Ask about lower plans, fee waivers, hardship programs, or better insurance rates. Avoiding one $35 fee can build more margin than skipping several small pleasures. Irregular money, refunds, overtime, bonuses, and 3 paycheck months is one of the fastest ways to get ahead. Use a simple rule: part for the present, part for the past, and part for the future. The present covers something needed now. The past catches up an overdue bill or debt. The future builds your buffer. You are allowed to enjoy some of it. Just do not let every rare chance to move forward become a bank balance you immediately recognize. Once you create a small margin, automate part of it. Even $10 on payday proves that not every dollar must disappear immediately. A buffer also changes how money feels. When your balance is near zero, every dollar feels urgent. A cushion gives you permission to slow down. Check the plan weekly. What came in, what left, what bills are next, and what remains. If something changed, adjust now. A budget is not a contract you signed with your past self. It is a live plan. Your past self did not know the car would start making that noise. And what if you do all of this and nothing remains? Then stop treating the situation like a discipline problem. If essential costs are higher than reliable income, the math needs a larger change. Start with the biggest costs, because that is where meaningful movement usually lives. Housing, transportation, childcare, insurance, and debt payments matter more than coffee. Ask what can be reduced, renegotiated, shared, replaced, or supported through assistance. Large structural costs deserve more attention than tiny purchases. At the same time, look for the most realistic income move available. That may mean more hours, a higher paying employer, a certification, a different role, selling a skill, or temporary extra work with a specific target. Do not build a permanent plan that requires you to work every waking hour. Extra income should help close the gap and create stability, not become another emergency. Progress will not be perfectly steady. You may use the buffer for a real emergency. That is not failure. That is its job. Rebuild it and continue. The moment you stop living paycheck to paycheck is not necessarily the moment you feel wealthy. It is the moment the next paycheck stops feeling like a rescue boat. The bills due tomorrow are already covered. A delayed deposit is inconvenient instead of devastating. A small emergency becomes a problem to solve, not the beginning of 5 more problems. That freedom begins smaller than people think. It starts with $10 that stays in the account, then $100, then one bill that no longer waits for payday, then 1 week of breathing room. So start with the next paycheck. Build the timeline. Find where the month breaks. Protect the first $100. Get 1 bill ahead. Use irregular money to create distance. And if the numbers truly do not fit, name the income gap and work on the correct problem. You are not trying to become 1 paycheck ahead overnight. You are trying to make the next paycheck slightly less responsible for saving your life. If this is the kind of money question you wish someone had explained sooner, subscribe to Evan Gets It. And tell me in the comments which one would change your life first. A. Having $100 saved. B. Getting 1 bill ahead. C. Having 1 full week of expenses ready. No judgment. I want to know which step actually matters most to you. because adulthood is expensive. But it gets a little easier when your next paycheck is finally allowed to be next.